The push is on then, and Sebastian Vettel has a 39-point lead to take into this second part of the season and the race to Brazil, where he may or may not be crowned a fourth world title. Lewis Hamilton may yet emerge as the challenger. Fernando Alonso and Kimi Raikkonen may yet have a say in the destiny of the title in 2013. One thing is for certain: Spa-Francorchamps, what a great place to get started once again. After the long summer break, we come to the longest track on the calendar, 4.35 miles through the Ardennes forest with 19 corners and an average lap speed of about 140 miles an hour. 2 DRS zones, of course, as has been the custom in 2013, along the Kemmel Straight and along the main straight as well. Overtaking possibilities galore, the chance of rain as well. And a beautiful scene is set then, Martin Brundle, for Lewis Hamilton maybe to take his second win in a row, or Sebastian Vettel to further increase his championship lead.
You're grimacing, waiting for the impact, frankly.
And you are a sitting duck down the Kemmel Straight if you don't get a good exit out of La Source as well. Confirmation on the tyres on your left-hand side of the screen. Bianchi and Chilton on the hard compound. Ricciardo starting on the hard compound to go long into his first stint, and Esteban Gutierrez as well. The rest of the field all on the medium compound tyre.
Interestingly, it's suggesting that Vettel, Webber, Rosberg, Button, Grosjean, Raikkonen are on the medium compounds, but used ones, not brand spanking new ones. So they've got loads of tyres left. I don't know. Let's see if that turns out to be accurate or not.
Yeah, Vettel's got at least 2 sets of the new mediums, as has Webber. Rosberg only 1 set of the medium compounds that are new.
Of course, a lot of those went out on to do a run on dry tyres, didn't they, in Q3, and just came straight in the pit. So maybe it's just that set of tyres are effectively they're new, frankly.
There's the championship battles then. 39-point lead for Sebastian Vettel, who was 42 points behind Fernando Alonso at this stage last season. McLaren, podium has eluded them as yet. Has Jenson Button got their best chance of a podium so far this season, as he starts 6th on the grid this afternoon? And Maldonado in Hungary getting Williams' first point of the year, which means his teammate Valtteri Bottas, the highest driver in the championship, without a point as yet. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes are 69 points behind Red Bull, ahead of Ferrari and Lotus. It's a close, tight battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment, and for 5th and 6th as well between Force India and McLaren.
Plenty of speed on this formation lap going on. You need to do that. It's good to have those long, high-speed corners to keep the temperature up, and now Hamilton wants to back the pack up. He's used the speed to get some brake temperature, but he doesn't want to sit on the grid too long. Best part of 3/4 of a minute, if you're not careful, of your car warm, overheating engine-wise, and your brakes and tyres cooling down. So Lewis really needs to get down to Blanchimont and the final chicane and really back this lot up heavily.
Such a long lap as well, Martin, which is why he's probably backing them up halfway through the lap itself. 5th pole position of the season for Lewis Hamilton, his 4th in a row. First driver to achieve that since Sebastian Vettel did it in 2011. First British driver to do it since Damon Hill back in 1995. And if you want to ride with him on board at the start of the race, you can by accessing Sky Race Control. Onboard cameras with Lewis Hamilton, with both of the Red Bulls, Vettel and Webber, and Paul di Resta as well. And a lock-up of the brakes there as they try and get some heat into the tyres before the start of this race. Warm-up issues, not necessarily a problem. The track temperature 25 degrees, the air temperature 19 degrees, which for Spa is positively toasty.
Well, they've not been able to practice their starts, especially on this serrated tarmac. They'll have had a practice start there off the grid, so they'll be adjusting their clutch bike point, where the bike point find, and some settings that they're told to do. Lewis, as expected, really is backing them up, but their practice start zone here is very much downhill, isn't it, on the exit of the pits, which is pointing downhill towards Eau Rouge, so not a lot of data to work from. In fact, it's slightly uphill, as you can see. That camera angle rather exaggerates it actually, but it's slightly uphill for the start.
Yep. They're all in the same boats together on that one, and you mentioned, Martin, earlier, the grooves across the track occupying positions 1 to 11. It's drainage, really, but will that help those at the front get a better getaway? They were introduced there to stop any rivers gathering.
I might be wrong, but it looked very grippy to me when I was down there on the grid. And those that are, and there's a McLaren with some very hot rear brakes, Jenson Button there, has really pumped some temperature into his brakes.
Hasn't he just? And he'd quite like Charles Pic to get a move on and slot into his grid spot, I would have thought. We're all there now, though. And we wait then for the season to resume. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go. It's a decent start at the back from one of the Toro Rossos, but Hamilton has got ahead of Vettel and Rosberg ahead of Webber. Going into turn 1, and who's that coming around the outside? Jenson Button, as they all get squeezed through La Source. The 2 Lotuses, Grosjean forcing Raikkonen off the track a bit and down towards Eau Rouge we run now. Lewis Hamilton from Sebastian Vettel, and then comes Nico Rosberg and Jenson Button, and Mark Webber is already down, losing a couple of places at the start. It's another poor start for Mark Webber as Sebastian Vettel now pressurizes Lewis Hamilton on the Kemmel Straight, and even halfway down the Kemmel Straight, Sebastian Vettel is into the lead, and he's been pressurized by Hamilton, and Button tries to go around the outside of Rosberg before he gets squeezed at the Lecombe chicane, and Fernando Alonso now might fancy a little nibble on the run through Malmedy down towards Rivage. Vettel's got the job done for the first lap. He's now ahead of Lewis Hamilton and leads the race.
And look at Alonso right out there in 5th place already, but Jenson got a tremendous start, but that's the first time for a long time we've seen Red Bull with any kind of straight line speed, and it's paid off handsomely, hasn't it? I was absolutely astounded to see him breeze past that Mercedes.
Yep, running that skinnier rear wing, Red Bull paying off. But in the middle sector of the lap, that's where they need the downforce. How mighty are they going to be there as Rosberg fends off Button going through Fagnier, and on the way down towards Stavolo, it's Vettel from Hamilton, Rosberg from Button and Alonso, the top 5. Then Webber and Di Resta, Hulkenberg up to 8th, and Grosjean and Raikkonen now in 10th. Perez and Massa in 12th. Sutil and Van der Gaard keeping hold of 14th. Under pressure from Maldonado and Verne, who got a decent start in the Toro Rosso ahead of his teammate Daniel Ricciardo.
It's a bit as I expected. Those further back in the top 10 really got great launches off that tarmac, and that's what's helped Alonso in particular. Massa, though, unfortunately, he's dropped back down into 12th place. Raikkonen down to 10. So it's Hulkenberg who's made the biggest improvement to get himself well up into the top 10 there for Sauber.
And Kimi Raikkonen all over the rear wing of Romain Grosjean, but behind his teammate after getting out-qualified again. Vettel leads the first lap, 1.4 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton as through La Source they go. Rosberg in 3rd place, and then Jenson Button in 4th, and at the back is Max Chilton dueling with Charles Pic. He got a bad start, did Max Chilton, after starting 16th, now down to 21st on the grid.